I still remember the first time we saw the valley. It wasn't on any map. It wasn't in any story told by the old miners. It was just there, hidden behind layers of fog and silence. The morning was cold and sharp. The air smelled like rain and wildflowers. Every step we took down the slope felt like walking into another world. And somewhere ahead, the sound of rushing water echoed through the trees. Orin walked ahead of me, his shovel over his shoulder. He turned back once, grinning. "You feel that," he said. "That's the smell of gold." I laughed, but I knew he was right. We've been searching for months, following rumors, chasing rivers that led to nowhere. But this place, this valley, it felt different. There was something alive about it. The trees bent over us, like ancient guardians. The mist hung low, silver and soft, and the stream glittered faintly beneath the morning light. It called to us like a voice from deep inside the mountain. We stopped at the riverbank. The water was crystal clear, running fast and cold. Orin crouched and scooped up a handful of sand. Tiny flakes of gold glimmered in his palm. He looked up at me, eyes wide. "You see that?" I nodded. It was real. All the miles, the nights under the stars, the hunger and exhaustion, it all led to this. We dropped our packs, pulled out our pans and sieves, and got to work. The river sang as we dug, its rhythm steady and ancient. Every scoop of earth felt like peeling away time. Hours passed. The sun climbed high, bathing the valley in light. The water sparkled, brighter now, as if proud to reveal its secret. And the gold, it came slowly, but it came. Dust, flakes, tiny nuggets that caught the sun like fire. Each one proof that the legends were true. Orin laughed out loud. His voice echoed through the valley. I couldn't help but laugh, too. It wasn't just about the gold anymore. It was about discovery. We built a small fire by the river. Cooked what little we had, beans, rice, and wild herbs. The smoke curled upward, blending with the mist. The scent of earth and would fill the air. "Think anyone's ever been here?" Orin asked. I looked around. Maybe once. Maybe never. He smiled. Then it's our turn. And for a moment, we felt like pioneers of something timeless. The valley stretched endlessly in every direction. Waterfalls cascaded from cliffs like silver ribbons. Every rock shimmered faintly with mineral veins. The place breathed, slow and steady. I took out my notebook, wrote one line. "The mountain bleeds gold." Because it did. You could see it in the water, the soil, even the air. We worked until the sun dipped behind the peaks. Our hands were blistered and raw, but we didn't care. The sound of the river became a song of triumph. Each spark of gold felt like a heartbeat. That night, we sat beside the fire. The stars hung low and bright, reflected in them. Stories of those who searched before us. When dawn came, the world turned gold. Sunlight spilled over the mountains, igniting the valley below. The mist rose, glowing like liquid fire. And for a moment, it felt like standing inside a dream. We started early. Orin found a new bend in the river, where the current slowed. The sand there was heavy, dark, rich with promise. We began to dig again. The hours melted away. The clinking of shovels, the splash of water, the sound of breath, all became one rhythm. Gold appeared again, more than before. Small, perfect pieces resting at the bottom of our pans. Every time the sunlight hit them, it felt like magic. Maybe, Orin said, this valley never wanted to be found. Then why show itself now? I asked. He shrugged. Maybe it was waiting for the right people. By noon, the heat pressed down heavy. The air shimmered. We took off our boots, waded into the stream, and let the water cool out. Sinking, the bottom shimmered beneath our feet, scattered flecks of gold catching light. We laughed again, two dreamers in a forgotten world. Not rich, not famous, but alive. And free. The deeper we followed the stream, the stranger it became. The ground turned softer, the air cooler. The water grew darker, thicker with sediment. And somewhere up ahead, a low roar began. We followed the sound, through tangled roots and narrow cliffs, until the trees opened into a clearing. And there, hidden in shadow, was a waterfall. It wasn't tall, but wide, powerful alive. The water fell into a deep pool surrounded by stone. And in the sunlight, the pool glowed gold. Not reflection, real gold dust swirling like smoke. Orin gasped. I couldn't speak. We stepped closer, the roar filling our ears. The ground beneath the pool shimmered with veins of metal. This is it, I whispered. The source. He nodded. We found the heart. And we stood there, speechless. The mountain wasn't just bleeding gold. It was alive with it. The stream was only the surface. The treasure ran deep beneath the stone. We had stumbled upon a secret older than memory. We spent the rest of the day digging near the waterfall. Each pan was heavier than the last. Every scoop brought new pieces, flakes, dust, even small nuggets. By evening, our pouches were half full. As the sun sank, the valley glowed again. Golden light spilled through the trees, reflecting off the water. It was as if the world itself was made of gold. We sat in silence, too tired to speak. Orin looked up. What do we do now? I smiled. We keep digging. He laughed softly. For how long? As long as it takes, I said. The fire crackled beside us. Sparks drifted upward into the twilight. The mountains stood silent, watching. That night, I couldn't sleep again. I walked to the edge of the stream, the water glowing faintly in moonlight. The valley was quiet, but not empty. It felt like it was listening. I reached into the stream and let the water run through my fingers. Tiny gold flecks clung to my skin. For a moment, I thought I heard a voice, soft, distant. Maybe the wind, maybe the mountain. When morning came, the valley was different. The mist was thinner, the light stronger. It felt open, awake, almost welcoming. And for the first time, I felt like we belonged here. We packed our tools, ready for another long day. But I stopped for a moment and looked back at the valley, the river, the trees, the mist, all glowing in the dawn. And I whispered, thank you, because today wasn't about luck. It wasn't about fortune. It was about finding something real, something pure, and knowing that sometimes the greatest treasures are hidden in silence. This is where our story begins. A valley forgotten by time, a stream that runs with gold, and two souls who dared to follow. Maybe we'll find more tomorrow. Maybe we won't. But the journey, that's the true treasure. And it's only just begun.